You may have been seeing the headline of a South African child cured of AIDS. And we're gonna break down exactly what that means to you, because it's not as cut and dry as the headlines would have you believe. So, a South African child born with HIV has surprised experts by appearing to be effectively cured of the AIDS virus after just a year of treatment, followed by 8.5 years drug-free. Patients with HIV would normally need to stay on antiretroviral drugs for the rest of their lives to keep AIDS at bay, but this child, still off treatment and now almost 10 years old, has no signs of the disease. Now, experts are urging caution, saying that, yeah, it's an easy headline to share, and it is exciting and encouraging news, but it might not mean exactly what you think. It's a case that raises more questions than it necessarily answers. That's coming from Linda Gale Becker, president of the International AIDS Society, which is holding a conference in Paris this week. It does raise the interesting notion that maybe treatment isn't for life, but it is clearly a rare phenomena. So this child, who they're not revealing the identity of, was a part of a clinical trial in which researchers were investigating the effect of treating HIV-positive babies in the first few weeks of life, and then stopping and starting the ART medicines whilst checking whether the HIV was being controlled. It's a really interesting study, but this is a very rare outcome. That said, it is incredibly encouraging news. And the Sharon Levin, an HIV expert at the University of Melbourne, said that the case threw up possible insights into how the human immune system can control HIV replication when treatment is interrupted. So it just seems what the ultimate headline here, what the breakdown is that you guys should take away from this, is that there have been some really successful clinical trials, but the success of which have been very rare and, as of right now, extremely isolated.
Right.
But it's still encouraging that I think we don't really hear that much about what is the fight in research against HIV/AIDS, and so to hear that there is active work, clinical trials being tested and being carried out, and that there is some success is really, it's good news.
Yeah.
But it isn't the headline that you might think.
Yeah, I mean, in this article it says there's like 35 or 37 million people living with AIDS, and for there to be one person, one child that's cured apparently, it's really, really great. But at the same time, this is one child. 37 million people that have AIDS. There's so many different things that it could have been. I mean, was it a boy? Was it a girl? Do they have any crazy mutations in their DNA? But again, it's super promising. But I think that we shouldn't get too excited yet. I mean, I think that we should be hopeful and happy that this is happening. But
this could be the first step in doing more clinical trials of this variety.
Exactly.
And trying it on patients with different, I guess, like different DNA makeups than this person. Because you're right, it could have just been a rare sort of DNA mutation that would lend themselves to responding to this sort of treatment. We just don't know. It could have absolutely been an anomaly. You have no idea. But the fact that there is a positive response is the good news. It's just I don't know. You always have hope, but there's certain things that it's like. I mean, when I think about like a cure for cancer, you think about a cure for these diseases that just cripple lives that have affected millions and millions of people. You want to be hopeful, and then you look at the data and you're like, should I be realistic? Should I be hopeful? So I think it's all about striking a balance in between that, and also having a healthy degree of skepticism when you see headlines like a kid was cured of AIDS.
Yeah, and I mean, I think with I have a science background, so as scientists who are doing tests, you want to be able to reproduce that result. And right now, they're not able to reproduce that result at a big scale.
Right.
So I think that's why scientists are pretty skeptical. But I mean, obviously there's something with this kid that's like amazing, and now they're cured of AIDS. I mean, even if it was, just a crazy DNA mutation, they can sequence that child's DNA and see what that mutation is.
Right.
And perhaps go from there. So I feel like, although it's just like a small scale of, happiness, I think it does open a lot of doors, as far as research and, the future of curing AIDS. I think it definitely is possible.
It's good news.
Yeah.
It's good news, but it's not the headline that you thought.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you guys in the comments section below. What did you think about this story? Had you seen it shared around a lot? I saw it shared on Facebook, which is why I wanted to talk about it with you. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we will see you next time on Pop Trigger.